welcome back, listeners, to the BizBlend podcast where real talk meets real growth in the world of business. Now, listeners, today's guest is someone who has worn more hats than most, literally and figuratively. From Nebraska cattle ranches to Wall Street, trading floors, to leading business acquisitions in the landscape industry, he has learned by doing. And now, as the owner of Flywheel Financial, he's on a mission to help small businesses scale with clarity, build lasting value, and more importantly, put the right people in the right seats. But what does it really mean to lead a team well? How do tools like the six types of working genius or the Enneagram, how do they help unlock performance, trust, and focus in today's business landscape? So let's quickly dive deep into leadership, team dynamics, and purpose driven strategy with someone who's not afraid of the messy middle or meaningful growth. So, listeners, meet my guest, Austin McMillan. Austin, welcome to the show, and I'm really, really excited to have you here with us.
Thank you so much, Sana. I'm fired up to be here.
Absolutely. Um, Austin, you have led across vastly different industries, and I think the dynamics, the varied perspective, the varied experiences of leading across different industries, it gives you a very different approach. So how did these experiences shape your view on team dynamics and then your appreciation for tools like Enneagram?
Yeah, that's a great question. I tell a lot of people that I'm basically a person that has to dive into the deep end to really understand if I love doing it, don't love doing it. Really got to get my hands dirty to kind of grasp the experience and see if it's something that I want to do the rest of my life. So, whether it was, for a season of my life, I thought, cattle ranching was the thing I was going to do. And so I had to
Mhm.
just go dive in and do that to just learn from experience to see what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, to kind of go in and live in that world for a season. And so I've
Mhm.
done that many times over and over again, whether it's trading options in the stock market or, working in the landscape industry. But I think the beautiful thing about that is I- I'm a person of faith. And so I feel like the Lord has taught me a lot about my unique skill sets and my personality of like the things I really enjoy doing in those different seasons of my life versus the things that I feel like were not, more weaknesses or not strong suits that I have. And so as I walked through that, it kind of opened my eyes to not just my unique personality, but the personality of others. And so what we've done now with Flywheel is really try to lean into how the Lord created each person, like the very unique strengths that are the core DNA of who they are. And so
Mhm.
we walked through Working Genius and walked through Enneagram exercises to really kind of like allow those things to rise to the top so we can put those people in the best seats at the company so they're thriving and doing things that they really, really enjoy every day. So it's that I've just had to learn through, a decade of doing a lot of different things to understand that, personality and the core DNA of who you are has a lot to do with your ability to produce and achieve in life.
Absolutely, totally. I think this is sacrosanct, irrespective of whether it's in professional or personal lives. But I also, because assuming our listeners, for our listeners, it could be new for them. So if you can explain how exactly the tools Enneagram and Working Genius, how do they work? What are their applications?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So we're new to the Working Genius. Our team actually just walked through that the past 2 months to really understand that. So let me start with Enneagram first. Enneagram, I was kind of dove into the deep end in that world probably 4 or 5 years ago, just to kind of learn the personality core motivations of people. And so
Okay.
Enneagram, there's 9 basic types inside the Enneagram that walk through different personality types and what their core motivations are. And so we actually use that in the hiring process. So we have a whole 5-part hiring process when we're bringing on new team members. And based on the role that we're hiring for the company, we look to see, based on this core DNA motivational type personality of this person, would they be a really good fit for the nature of that role. If it's really task driven or people driven or, whatever the role happens to be, we try to say, like, do we know from the get go this person would be set up for success based on their personality type? And so it's been a very helpful thing to walk through because it allows us to see, okay, what we're looking for and what we know is going to be allow the person to really feel fulfillment and energy from this role. Personality has a lot to do with those things. And so we try to align those two things together. So Enneagram has been a catalyst for us in doing that in the interview process. And then in the Working Genius, we're going to start implementing that in the interview process as well, just based on role and uniqueness of the role to see if they would, be very successful in that role based on their Working Genius type. And really the working genius side, I'm happy to go into as much detail as you want, but the working genius side basically shows you how you can best collaborate as a team for everybody that's coming in with their unique skill sets and strengths that the Lord created them with. And so that's kind of how we kind of blend the two together.
Wow. Wow. So if I am getting this right, so Enneagram is more relevant when it comes to hiring and team building, and Working Genius is more relevant when it comes to like team collaboration, like, how the team dynamics are working. Who is the best or most efficient for a specific kind of role when it comes to a specific task or project or achieving any goal? I mean, is this something that's, I mean, am I making sense or
That
something
is
different?
Yep, Sana, that's exactly right. So Enneagram is kind of unique to the person and the skill sets and the core motivation of like what they would excel in. And
Mhm.
and so the working genius basically shows you how to blend the different unique abilities or the things that people have higher skill sets or lower skill sets in when you're actually trying to accomplish things as a team. So the brilliant part of working genius is it basically brings everybody's skill set. So it basically shows you strengths and weaknesses per person on your team. I'm actually right now looking at our team map. And there's six basically parts of this working genius that go from like wonder and ideation of something all the way to the tenacity of finishing that project or that idea or whatever you're trying to do as a business. And so the beautiful part of this is that you get to pull in your team members to let
Mhm.
them speak into the different parts of where they're strong in. And then we also say, okay, if I'm weak in this certain area, I need to lean on a team member that's
Mhm.
strong in that area so they can help us get it to the finish line or whatever it is. So it really helps open our eyes to say if we really want to collaborate and build a team that's doing something much bigger than ourselves, then let's lean into these strengths that each person naturally has and allow them to like play their role on the team. So the best way I put it, we actually walked our team through the Working Genius exercise with a Working Genius implementer over in Atlanta not too long ago. And the best way he described it is if you think about and once again, this is a United States reference, but if you think about the Chicago Bulls back in their heyday when they were winning 6 championships with Michael Jordan, then
Mhm.
everybody knew if there was 5 seconds left to go in the game and it was a tie ball game, who the ball was going to go to. And it was going to be
Yeah.
Michael Jordan because he was a clutch player and he was going to go try to win the game. So he said, our implementer basically said, the best way to understand that from a team dynamic is based on what part of the project or part of the season you are in business. We need to understand who is the Michael Jordan of that season so we can pass the ball to them because their strengths are a lot higher than everybody else to go tackle what we need to be tackled. So anyway, that's kind of the best way I can describe it from a working genius standpoint.
Well, that's a really brilliant reference, and then it's. I mean, it kind of is a um, symbolism of that, or kind of
Yeah.
representative of that. Yeah, so that's what's really interesting, Austin. Thank you for sharing that. And
Yeah,
now,
you bet.
uh-huh. Yeah, go ahead, Austin. Go ahead.
I was just saying, yeah, you're very welcome for sharing. I'm very fascinated by the personality profile stuff, and so we're just trying to continue to put all of our team members in the best seats possible for the company, so that they really get fulfillment and energy every time they show up for work every day.
Absolutely. Now, and I just want to make the discussion more nuanced, because here we are blending uh, human led, people led um, elements or components with technology. We'll also come to AI, but before that, um, isn't there a risk, Austin, that over relying on these tools, Enneagram or Working Genius, they can lead to boxing people in or kind of putting tags on people in rather than empowering them or, giving them the opportunity to maybe try, learn, hone their skills in different roles?
Great question, Sana, and you're exactly right. I feel like the negative side that a lot of people see in the personality boxing someone into a specific number or letter or whatever it is of the personality profile test. It doesn't, the best way I can describe it is it doesn't give an excuse for people to not do something that they don't enjoy doing, right? So, like,
Mm,
what we do is we try to craft the role to play to people's strengths, but you can't do that 100% of the time. So, there's going to be times in business where if your responsibility is for something that you don't necessarily love doing, you're still going to have to do it because it's your responsibility. Right. And so when you think about, I think about it like work and family life or all the different aspects of life.
yeah, yeah.
In any of these personality profile tests, it's just really showing you kind of where your unique skill set and your unique, like, a re-energizer part of your life is. But you're always going to have things in life that you're going to have to go do that you don't want to do. And so it doesn't like limit you to doing things that you shouldn't be doing, right? And so, like, that's probably the best way I can describe it is that you can't use it as a crutch is probably a better way to say it, is that it all it does, it just hopefully elevates your ability to know how you need to build your life and how you need to structure your day to really execute it at a high level, but you're
Mm,
still gonna have to do things that you don't wanna do to get through the day. And so, it's kind of a balance of both of those things, but what I try to do as a leader is try to uniquely position our roles and what our team is doing in the
mm,
best place possible where they're doing things that they thoroughly get fulfillment and enjoyment out of every day. Because if somebody is frustrated because they're constantly doing 80% of their work in something
mhm,
that they're not don't have a strength in, or they don't have a unique DNA to like be motivated to go do that, then they're never going
mm.
to work out long term and they're probably going to be looking for another job very soon, right?
Exactly.
So if I can find a way to say like, "Hey, we align values wise from you as a person and me as a person to be building a team together that are doing something way bigger than ourselves," then I need to figure out what's the best spot for you to be in so that you
Mm.
really want to give your best capabilities and best strengths to the team because you see that this is your unique role in the team. So that's kind of the focus for me as a leader.
Absolutely, absolutely, and then it doesn't uh, it doesn't take away that responsibility or the accountability on a team leader or a business owner or a founder to just limit their team to uh, assessing through these tools. I mean, it can really help in as you mentioned, enhancing the way uh, you can approach that, who is the right fit for this specific role or this specific task, but it does not limit or boxes your approach into just using these tools as crutch. So that's a really mindful and a balanced approach into this. And now I would like to, add AI into this picture. So, how exactly do you leverage AI into this? Because now we are using AI to understand our career trajectories, options out there, whatnot. I mean, there are so many varied applications in there. So, what's your view on this?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we're in the nature of accounting. So we handle all things accounting for small businesses. And so if you think about industries that are kind of ripe for the picking for AI, accounting is one of those because accounting is very rhythm based. I mean, you're doing a lot of things, the same thing over and over again every month to close the books and produce financials and all those things. And so really the way I lean into this world is when we're building a team with now this new technology like AI, I'm really only focused on hiring team members that are growth minded. And so, like, I feel like people that are not growth minded, that they just are very like complacent and they don't want to improve their skill set or improve their life,
Mm,
those are the ones that are very fearful of AI because AI has the potential to come in and do something that they mind-numbingly do over and over and over again because they don't want to get better or take the next step in their career or their life or whatever. Right. So for me, we're focused on hiring a team that's all growth minded. And when you are growth minded, it gets you excited about the world of AI because then you're like, oh my gosh, there's this technology out there that I can now start leveraging that's gonna make my job so much better. So it's gonna free up my time to go do, more important things that this machine currently can't do, right? And so really, the only person that's ever gonna think that way is somebody that's growth minded, and I think everybody on our team is very much growth minded, and so it's just fun. So we're literally, as a team, we're having discussions every month on what are we currently doing now in all of our roles that we should be leveraging AI to go do so that we no longer have to do. And so then if we want to get in the whole AI discussion, so we currently are subscribed to Chat GPT operators, which is,
oh,
I'm sure you know about this, but the best way I can describe it is it's essentially a macro for the internet, which is just crazy to say out loud to me because it's just mind blowing that this technology is out there. But you can prompt these AI agents to go do almost anything you want on a Google Chrome browser or anything that's going on in the internet. It's just mind blowing. So we're trying to train our team to say, okay, what are we doing this repetitive tasks right now that we shouldn't be doing anymore? And how do we go create prompts and leverage this technology to go do those things for us? So now it opens up our capacity to handle more responsibility, be more people oriented to really have an impact on people so that we're not bogged down with a bunch of tasks that a machine can do. So it's a great time to be alive, Sana. It's like it's mind blowing to me that we live in a world where this technology is at our fingertips. And so I think if you're not getting on board to really lean into it and see how it could benefit your life, then you're missing the boat.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, right now I only have one fear is every day there is some kind of new feature, updates or tools which are getting introduced. So at least, I should be aware that yes, there are tools out there which are leveraging the AI capabilities to make redundant tasks or repetitive tasks, which would manually take a lot of time, a lot of brainstorming to its full power. But then also at the same time, I absolutely honor the creative and the human brain power because AI fully cannot replace humans, but
That's right.
somebody who knows how to leverage AI to its best capabilities, they can replace.
That's exactly right. I think so human relationships are going nowhere, right? So like that's not going to be replaced exactly like you said. So there's always going to be a human element of like how humans bond, right? So
Yeah.
it's like so that part of it is never going to go anywhere. So I've heard it said before that AI is never going to replace people. AI is just going to simply replace people that don't leverage AI. And so it's almost like, if it's really hard to operate in 2025 if your business is not on the internet, right? Because eventually, like if you have no clue what the internet is and you don't know how to leverage it, then your business most likely is not going to be able to last for another 100 years. And it's the same concept for me behind AI, right? So it's like we're very much at the tip of the iceberg of where this whole world is right now. But if you're
Mm.
not starting to learn as a business how to leverage that to make your team better, because you're always going to have to, businesses are like, to me, if you go back to just the concept of business,
Mhm.
business is just a team working together to produce and solve a problem for people. Right,
Yeah.
so businesses are always gonna be that way, but you're always gonna need people, but those people have to be growth minded and leveraging AI to do their role to the best of their ability, and the people that don't get on board with that, sadly, I think decades from now, it's gonna be hard for them to continue to be a company because they're just gonna be outpaced by the people that are leveraging AI.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's a really great definition of business, Austin. And it's a very people centric definition. That it's not only you as a founder or an individual is solving problems, but you along with your team collaborating, and together you are helping to solve the problems and give out better, um, effective solutions to those problems. Uh,
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, nobody makes it to the top of the mountain by themselves, and that's true about every single anybody that you ever respect or like want to live your life like in this world. They always had a team of people that were making them better, and that's to me the beautiful thing about business is that no business is run by one person. No great business anyway. And so business is just the ultimate personal development tool of just saying like how do we build a team and collaborate better so we're doing bigger things that we could ever do alone. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and in fact, interestingly, there was the one episode that I remember where this was a really interesting point, especially when it comes to, self-made billionaires, millionaires. I mean, yes, they started on their own, but then there have been people who have worked with them or for them to help them achieve on that position that they are in right now. So it's a community, or it's a collaboration, it's a team, it's human led, people led, coupled, powered with technology. And before we wrap up, Austin, what would you say to skeptical leaders, especially small and medium business owners who think that tools like Enneagram or Working Genius, they are just personality tests, and they are not serious business strategy. They just add to another set of fixed costs.
Yeah, great question. And my response to that is if you're a leader that is not willing to explore that, I don't know if you're a leader that has your people's heart and your people's like interest in your heart. So I guess the better way to say that is that if you want what's best for your people, which I say your people, your team, you have to dive into this world because if you don't know what the best seat for that unique person at your company is, then you're just going to have turnover and people getting burnt out all the time, right? So you have to really lean in to the unique skill sets of those people and understand those things, understand what they're dreaming about, what they care about, what gives them energy, what drains them of energy. And then once you understand that, then you can start putting them in the best place so that they succeed and they do more for your company than they would ever do if they were on the wrong seat. So really, it's like you see the fruit from it as an owner easily if you have all your people in the right seats doing what they love doing most all day, every day, because when people enjoy what they're doing, they're going to do it way more efficient. They're going to do it way better than they would do something that they hate doing. And they're just going to show up every day excited to work. And if you can create a culture like that, then it's going to benefit you massively as a leader. And so I would say if anybody that's skeptic on that, just know that you're playing a short-term game and it's probably gonna come and bite you in the end.
True, true. Great. Austin, this was really, really insightful and very constructive perspective, outlook on blending tech in people management and running a business. So, if our listeners they would like to connect with you and explore more about Working Genius and how they can leverage tools to its best capabilities, what would be the best way?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on Instagram. That's probably the best way to find me. So my Instagram handle, I'm sure what we can put it in the show notes, but it's Austin D. McMillan. And honestly, Sana, we've actually built out a free gift that we would love to give any of your listeners that are trying to take a next step financially to become more profitable in their business, or this actually works in your personal life as well. But if you find us on Instagram, give us a follow, and then you can direct message me the word profit, PROFIT, and we'll just send you that free gift. It's a basically a guide of how to set up your bank accounts so that you can start prioritizing profit because that's what we try to help every business owner that we work with do is not just handle all the financial side of their business, but then show them a pathway to become more profitable inside of their business. So, like I said, reach out, use the word profit. Happy to send that gift over to you. Have a video walkthrough of it as well, and would love to send that your way.
That's awesome, Austin. I'll make sure to have all the details in the show notes. And thank you. Thank you so much because this was a masterclass in leading with intention, insight, and faith as well. And of course, you have reminded us, Austin, that isn't all just about profit, but it's about people,
That's right.
purpose, legacy also.
Yeah, you bet, Tom. So thank you so much again for having me on. I'm excited to be here and love the conversation and really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Austin. And thank you to all of your listeners for tuning into BizBlend. If you found value in today's episode, take a moment to reflect. What kind of leader are you? And what kind of genius are you bringing to the table? Until next time, blend bold ideas with grounded wisdom and don't be afraid to build a business that reflects your true values. Thank you.